When it comes to preparing for a major event, whether it just be a brief storm, electricity outage, or a major event that transforms the world, or even something as big as the end times where everything changes, a lot of people prepare, and regardless of what it is you're preparing for, and a lot of people, they'll stock up on food, or they'll say, well, I can hunt and fish, or I could build a winter shelter, or that kind of thing. But you can't make antibiotics. And unless you're a doctor, you can't prescribe antibiotics. And even if you were a doctor and you could prescribe antibiotics, you're held accountable by insurance companies. You can't just go throwing prescriptions out everywhere. To ensure that you and your family have the antibiotics that you would need in case of an emergency, stick around, because I have a coupon code that'll save you some money. If we're faced with a catastrophic event like the electricity goes out or anything changes, a world-changing event, if you don't have antibiotics at that moment, you will never have them. Chances are you will never have them. Get them before the event or you won't have them. It's literally the only thing that could save your life or save the life of a loved one during a supply shortage if you have an infection. And just look at supply shortages, and especially medical supply shortages. Just simply look at what took place with the baby formula. This is a big problem, and if you're like me, you've probably stocked up on fish antibiotics, or maybe you have a couple bottles of some antibiotics you didn't take, or maybe a family member didn't take, and you're storing that. But you don't have to anymore, and that's what's so beautiful about what I'm about to talk about. You don't have to anymore. So if you're faced with something like a toothache or a cut that could potentially kill you if not treated, you don't have to lean on searching in town or digging through old abandoned places or stealing it. You can actually have this yourself legally in the U.S. provided by a U.S. doctor. I'm talking about the Jase antibiotic kit. Jase was a product that my wife actually brought up because she works in the health industry, and I, again, had stocked up on fish antibiotics. And as soon as this was released, she immediately brought it to my attention and got online and got us both a full emergency dose per one adult. Now, what this looks like, you simply get online, you fill out a very brief 5-minute form, and then a U.S. licensed doctor will prescribe you an emergency kit of antibiotics. And it's not just one bottle of antibiotics, it's antibiotics for a wealth of different problems that you might have. More so, it comes with a guide that'll tell you if you have this problem or that snake bite, toothache, you've been poisoned, whatever the case may be, it's going to tell you which antibiotic you need to take for what cause. Now, I will say that obviously this is not designed to replace your doctor. If you're living in a world like we live in now, where everything's just normal and fine, and you have an infection, call your doctor. That's not what this is. Jase is set up specifically designed during the COVID pandemic, when they realized that there's a lot of people having a hard time accessing the medications they need. When the world saw what was taking place during COVID, Jase took it upon themselves to make sure that every adult in the United States and in Canada can have an emergency kit of antibiotics, regardless of whether there's electricity on or a supply chain is destroyed or whatever the case may be. As long as you got this kit, you're going to be okay with most infections. Again, when it comes to antibiotics, if you don't have them when everything falls apart, chances are you will probably never get them. And even outside of emergency, if you're traveling around the world, this kit goes with me everywhere. If I'm going to travel, I have this kit and I have a trauma kit with me. Even if you're traveling within the United States, it's sometimes not real easy just to get in real quick to a doctor if you're in some different state that's not your hometown. Oftentimes, doctors aren't taking appointments for quite a while, so that leaves the emergency room, which will cost you a fortune just to simply get a dose of antibiotics. In a world without antibiotics, life expectancy would drop to 50. I would have personally died. Personally, I would have died multiple times so far if I didn't have access to antibiotics. 3 times when I was a kid, and a couple times as an adult I would have died if I didn't have access to antibiotics. And I'm willing to bet there's many of you that are watching this that can say the exact same thing. In a smart society, we give an emergency supply of antibiotics to every citizen. We should all have these. Again, I went through this process. It took about 5 minutes. You do have to upload a photo ID, answer a couple basic medical questions. I got mine in less than a week. You get 1 emergency pack per person per year. You know, antibiotics can literally bring a person back from the doors of death. It's a very important aspect that you have in your preparation kit. I'm going to leave a link below so you and your family can get an emergency dose of antibiotics. Use a coupon code GUNS10 to get $10 off. It's a very affordable product that would cost you almost everything if the supply chain ran out. Because again, the moment that the supply chain ceases to exist, it's the last chance you will ever get antibiotics possibly in your lifetime. I'd also like to say that given the state of the world right now, there is a huge demand for this product. So click the link below. Again, you only have 30 days to use this coupon code. Antibiotics will be the one thing that the entire world will be looking for with only a few days of a major disaster. I'd also like to add that Jase's board is made up of U.S. doctors, and you will receive this prescription from a U.S. doctor. And it's dispensed by a licensed U.S. pharmacy. So again, click the link below, put in the coupon code GUNS10, save $10. Get this product right away. The closer we get to a catastrophic event, the more difficult this is going to be to get this product. And the world is seeing this, and this is the first time that you could just get online and ask a doctor for an emergency dose of all these antibiotics. Because again, I'm sure you can hunt and fish and build a winter shelter, but you can't make antibiotics. It's literally the one thing that might bring you from the doors of death. Definitely click that link below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel with Patreon. That link is also below. The most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.